I'm 28 years old and I live in Bow, East London. Well, kind of. You see, a little over 6 months ago, I decided to start my very own country. Little did I know I'd end up travelling tens of thousands of miles, meeting world leaders and convincing thousands of people to become my citizens.
Well, you could help me shape a nation.
I'd even get my face on a stamp. My quest would take over my life.
You know, the authorities were called, the police turned up.
I'd end up in prison with a bunch of men in pink underwear. I'd fire my first gun.
I want to run away.
Well, it's more of a response that we usually see in women.
I'd take the advice of renowned thinkers.
Don't come to me with problems, Chomsky. Come to me with solutions.
And I'd find myself on a diplomatic mission.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
My journey from being Mr. Danny Wallace of London, England, to being King Danny, ruler of a brand new country, began after I heard about a place called the Principality of Sealand.
It's about a place called Sealand.
It was a rusting war fort just 6 miles off the coast of England, and it claims to be an independent state.
But they seem to think it's their own kind of country.
I couldn't see how it was possible to have a whole country based on a war fort in the middle of the North Sea. I spent ages phoning around.
Well, I need to know, really, whether it's British or whether it's Sealandish.
And not even the Foreign Office could tell me if it was a real country or not.
I don't think there's been an established answer.
In the end, I decided the only way to find out would be to go there myself.
That's it. That's Sealand. It looks a bit like an oil rig. I can't believe it is a country. You know what I mean? It can't. It's just a thing in the sea, surely. Wow. I'm going to try and make contact.
People of the Principality of Sealand. My name is Danny. Hello. I was wondering if I could find out about your customs and your ways. Hello? My name is Danny. I'm on a little boat.
There's someone there, there's someone there, there's someone there.
Hello. I come in peace, and I was hoping I could have a word with someone. Would you be Prince Regent Michael?
Yeah, I'll come down.
He's going to come down. He's actually going to come down. Wow, a man is being winched onto my tiny boat. How cool is this? Ahoy.
Ahoy there.
Burly man coming aboard. Excellent work.
Hello.
Well done. That was very impressive. I tell you, if I had one of them, I'd be on it all day. So thank you very much for meeting with me. I just heard about Sealand and I wanted to find out some more. So what is it?
It's basically an old wartime fortress that's been declared independent for about the last 40 years.
And Britain are cool with this?
Britain are cool with it, yeah. This fortress was built during the time of war, right? It was built illegally in international waters. Nobody bothered at the time because there was war going on. After the war, it was maintained for a few years and then abandoned. The British government should have destroyed it. They'd gone against every international convention in not destroying it. And we took it over.
So why was it done? Why was it declared independent?
Now, that's a really awkward question, isn't it? My father was involved with pirate radio years ago. So originally he came here with the idea of continuing with his radio station. And then one night he was having a drink with his lawyer friend and had a bizarre idea of forming an independent state.
When you say he was having a drink, I mean, how many drinks had Pat?
Well, exactly,
to
yeah,
do that.
quite a few, I'd imagine.
Yeah. So how did it develop from there? I mean, because you've got your own flag now?
We've slowly built up stamps, coins, passports, all the trappings you need for statehood.
And you're a prince. How does that feel?
The prince thing was not for altruistic reasons. It was purely to simplify the law. If you made a republic or whatever, you'd have to have like a senate and law books. And, you know, we're a very small family. It wasn't feasible.
So I might do that. I'd quite fancy being a bit of a prince or a king or something. I wanted to just come here and find out about it, but actually I'm slowly kind of, you know, I think it's because you're a prince. I think that's kind of why. I mean, you know, we're not the most regal looking fellas in the world. You know, you and I.
Yeah.
But I reckon.
You reckon that's the way?
Well, I reckon if you can do it, I can.
Come on,
He's off. See you later. Don't fall in.
I was convinced It was possible to start your own country. Back at the flat, I thought night and day about how I could solve my problem of not having a territory. And then, at about 6:28 on a Sunday morning...
I think I've got it.
Look. Why can't this be a country? You know? All the time I've been thinking about this territory problem, I've been thinking about where I can set up my country, and all along I've had territory, you know? I've had this place. Why can't this be a country?
So I phoned Ordnance Survey and instructed them to come round and update their maps.
Have you done many flats?
None. First time I've done a new country as well.
Really?
With the borders of my flat officially drawn, it was time to warn the neighbours and hold a press conference.
Inspired by similar visionaries and by the simple fact that it is possible and it sounds fairly easy, yesterday afternoon, in a proud and confident voice, I declared this land my own. I have started my own country. You are sitting in it.
I was happy. It was all coming together. But in the interests of international friendship, there was still one thing left to do.
I'm starting my own country. I'm just off to tell Tony.
I had to deliver my Declaration of Independence to number 10.
Just park up, not in this no parking bit.
If I stop here.
Yeah.
Along with a note saying that should they have any concerns, all they had to do was ring me.
Right. It's exciting. Oh, blimey, here we go. Hi. Well, I'm a king. I've got my little country.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. So here we go. I'm just leaving that for Tony.
When I got home, I got a package.
I've got a package.
From Norway.
From Norway.
I'd been sent a video by a man I'd made contact with on the internet. His name was Viceroy Morten Holmefjord, and he was leader of the Kingdom of Fusa. Fusa is an independent micronation that Morten established in a former area of Norway. As luck would have it, he was flying to the UK on business and offered me 10 minutes of his lunch hour.
The day of your coronation must have been quite a special day.
Yes, it was a coronation first and then the signing of the treaty with the mayor, and then a party and then another party.
That's about right, a couple of parties.
Yeah, a couple of parties, yeah.
A treaty in the middle.
Some dynamite and salutes and so forth. But
you had dynamite?
Yeah, a lot of dynamite.
A lot of dynamite?
I love dynamite.
You did?
Bill of Rights. You know the Bill of Rights, which actually defines your relationship between yourself and your citizens. Have you any idea what you might include in those? There's no consensus, I'm afraid. The top three tend to be right to life.
Right to life?
Very high on the list is usually freedom of expression, and then probably privacy.
Privacy?
People see privacy as being very much about their relationship with the state. In other words, they want a presumption that you, as the government, will not interfere with them without good reason. In other countries where they might be concerned about things like torture, they would put freedom from torture.
See, I'd put torture in my Bill of Wrongs. So I'd have a Bill of Rights, I'll have a Bill of Wrongs. Crime, murder, torture.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
That's yours.
Look what I did.
All right.
I was born to shoot.
Yeah. You're born to be king.
Well, we all know that.
Having proved myself an expert marksman, Olivia felt it was now safe to introduce me to some more Second Amendment sisters.
You guys, you know, you're all sensible, lovely people. But there are other people out there, aren't there, who, by allowing them to have a gun, you're endangering everyone because they are nutters. There are plenty of nutters out there.
So you need to...
But in a population, 2% of any population are going to be bent toward criminal activity.
How are you going to protect the people from the crime?
Well, I think that not having guns would be a good start.
That's not going to stop crime. If somebody is intent on committing a crime, they're going to commit a crime. Yeah, but, okay, so the bad guy's going to grab a machete or an axe or a hatchet or a baseball bat or a monkey wrench.
Firearms are called the great equalizer because they can be wielded by anyone. Pregnant women, the elderly, people in wheelchairs. These are all people who would become easy prey for criminals.
And Danny, the largest growing group of gun owners in the United States is women.
Really?
Yes.
Is that just because all the men have already got one?
Hardly.
The initial gut reaction to, oh, there's all this gun crime or crimes committed with gun, the initial reaction is, well, let's just get rid of the guns. Taking the gun away doesn't turn that criminal into a law-abiding citizen. You're trying to make the evil from the criminal into the evil of the tool.
So what are you going to do if the government says, right, we're going to have another amendment and we're going to get rid of guns?
The president can't just say, I'm going to change this, that's it, like the king does.
They messed up, didn't they? Go straight to king.
Depends. But you can't do everything.
From what perspective are you saying they messed up? From the point of your subjects, okay, well, there's the king, he's got all the power, it kind of leaves me at the whim. Your subjects are going to be like, well, great, he can rewrite everything. If you decide that all of a sudden women can't vote, there's nothing stopping you. The Constitution of the United States was written with that in mind, saying that we need checks and balances on this system. We need it to be hard to change. We need it difficult to seize power. And in the absolute worst case scenario, when there is nothing else stopping someone from grabbing the power of a king, you've got 280 million citizens with firearms.
I needed a government. I considered doing what George W. Bush did and choosing my dad's mates. But then I thought about my dad's mates and decided, best not.
Right, thank you all for coming. I've asked you here.
So I used my own, hand-picked for their particular skills and abilities.
Rich.
My friend Rich can count up to 10 in 15 different languages.
Within there you'll also find your official uniform.
He was perfect for the post of Minister for Foreign Affairs.
Cool. Thank you very much.
I needed a Minister for Finance.
Nathan.
And chose Nathan, mainly because he's got his own calculator watch.
There's a few notes there and a T-shirt. Neris, you're a lady.
Neris has been a girl since she was a baby. I made her Minister for Ladies and that.
Just ladies' issues.
Ladies' issues.
She was a bit annoyed, but, you know, that's ladies for you.
High five.
And then I found out about another place that also claims to have created the perfect community. Only they've done it without the need for loads of rules.
Hey, I'm Danny. How's it going?
I arranged to meet up with a fella who went by the name of Joker.
I mean, this is a shithole, but it's the best shithole on the planet.
Christiania was set up on a disused military base in the heart of Copenhagen. Founded in 1970 by a group of happy hippies, it's now home to over 800 residents keen to escape the controls of the Danish government.
This is a marketplace. Here, Pusher Street starts, and there's no photo here, so we have to ask nicely to bring this camera.
Okay.
But I think it should be no problem.
Really? Do you want to sort that out with them?
Yeah, I go and have a chat.
All right.
Just hang out here for a moment.
Yeah?
Jeg siger, jeg kommer herned forbi med BBC.
He's doing a lot of shouting.
Bare så I ved det.
They all seem to be quite friendly and quite happy. How was that?
Yeah, no problem.
Really? They're cool.
Yeah, we have criminals in Christiania. Only hash criminals, but we have hash criminals.
Right.
But they're the nicest criminals. I've been hanging out with criminals all over the world.
Really?
And this is the nicest criminal.
They're the nicest criminals you've ever met.
And I'm a criminal as well.
You're a criminal?
Yeah, I smoke hash. We have 9 rules here in Christiania.
Yeah?
The first rule was from the first common meeting. It was no private cars.
That was the first rule?
Yeah. And then, after 8 years, another rule popped up, no hard drugs. And since that, we had this hard drug-free hash market here.
Right. What about proper crime, though? Mugging or murder or, anything like that? Is that
yeah. We had a burglary 3 months ago. We had a rape last year. Oh. That was really big news. And I think 8 years ago, there was a murder here.
And what do you do about stuff like that? Because, you're self-policing, aren't you?
If somebody is raping somebody, we give them over to the police.
Right, yeah.
If somebody kills somebody, we give them over to the police. If somebody is stealing, we kind of deal with it ourselves.
Right.
And good advice, don't steal here.
So it's very much it's a system of we deal with it ourselves.
Yeah, but with a big responsibility. We don't lynch people.
Right, that's nice.
I hooked up with a man who helps governments figure out ways of solving their financial problems. His name is Madsen Piri, and he works for the Adam Smith Institute.
Nice to meet you. How's it going?
It's pretty good.
Should you take a seat?
I told Madsen all about not having anything to sell, but he didn't seem to think it was a problem.
Yes, Adam Smith was the Scottish writer who more than 200 years ago set out the entire principles of modern economics. It was a book called The Wealth of Nations, and he basically said that Your wealth isn't the number of gold bars you've got hidden under the throne room. It's the productive labour of your people. It's the goods and services they're producing for each other. That's what makes a country rich.
Ken Clarke had spent 4 years managing the UK's economy as Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Hello there. Hello, I'm Danny. You too.
If anyone could help, I figured it was him.
I'm kind of starting on the wrong foot, in a sense. I had a big bill recently, meaning I'm already in debt. Surely that's not a good way to start a country.
Well, all nations need some credit, particularly if you've got to import your oil, you've got to import your commodities, you've got to engage in trade with other people. A reasonable level of national debt is inevitable. Every country has one.
Every country's in debt.
As far as I'm aware, I'm not aware of any country in the world that is completely free of debt. We had a pretty enormous national debt in this country since Pitt got himself into a lot of wars at the end of the 18th century. The question is whether your debt is affordable. Where countries get into trouble, like Argentina recently, is they pile up debts and have to tell everybody, sorry boys, this is far too big, we can't pay any interest. That does lasting damage for quite a long time to your economy.
So I shouldn't fear the debt that I'm in? I should
Not in
embrace
itself, no. Even citizens in their private lives shouldn't necessarily fear debt. The important thing is that the debt should not get too high in relation to your income.
And why is debt inevitable, sorry?
Your bills go up and down, and you can't always predict when suddenly your tax income's going to drop, or in terms of trade, they're going to go against you. So you need debt to smooth out the ups and downs that otherwise go on. The government's in debt for about a third of the national income each year. I think it's about £450 billion.
450 billion?
450,000 million pounds. It's all right so long as you can afford the interest, 20-odd billion.
The interest is how much?
20-odd billion.
20 billion pounds?
Yeah. Problems arise because it's going up, and then you're starting into trouble. But don't worry.
Trouble?
That must be. Well, the Japanese are in big trouble and the Italians aren't doing too well. They owe more than 100% of their entire GDP. The other thing is you've got to keep an eye on what your population's borrowing. The British consumer is borrowing over £1 trillion. And
I didn't know there was £1 trillion. I didn't know that existed.
Don't worry, I've been a finance minister for a few years, and £1 trillion means almost nothing to me. You're reaching the stage where, as you see the noughts on the page, you're now dealing with a kind of concept. But
can I pay my bill, please?
Sure.
It's
£2.60.
That's £2.60. Okay. There you go. That's great. Cheers.
What's this?
Sorry? That's it's the IOU. It's a new kind of currency. No?
So what do I do with it?
It's worth about, how much was the Guinness?
260.
It's worth about 260. Yeah? So that's cool, is it? Great, okay. So that's fine. Thank you very much. Cheers.
I was amazed. My fledgling currency had taken its first step. And with my money backed up by all the time I was sure my citizens would invest, I felt confident that one day the rest of the world would accept the IOU.
You've got to teach them how to sing. Danny Wallace is the king.
I had a dream in which we created a country, a nice country, a country based on good manners, on politeness, on optimism, a country we could be proud of. The UN has turned us down. And the Eurovision told us to pack our jumpers and get stuffed. But you, the people of this country, you have said yes. I am proud to tell you that our country continues to grow. We are not only bigger than the Vatican City and Rome. We are bigger than Tuvalu. We have more citizens than Nauru, Palau, San Marino. And in recent days, we've become greater than both Monaco and Liechtenstein. So far in our journey, we have been a country without a name. Tonight, we will choose a name. You, the people, have voted. You have had your say. The result is in this envelope. Ladies and gentlemen, we are lovely! We're lovely!
Sundry, everyone can join my country. Listen if you hear them, maybe you can hear them say, "You got to teach them how to sing, Danny Wallace is the king."
I knew in that moment that I had done it. I had my very own United Nation. And it was lovely.
Oh, the nation made the war, it's the nicest of